appear in many words which are used when talking about drag racing today. Pro, as in prototypes, proceeds, progress, promotions, professional. Having a schedule which boasts of nearly 20 national events, drag racing is now being referred to as the sport of the 70s. And one of the prime movers in the evolution of drag racing has been the Plymouth Rapid Transit System. What's it like to be a full-time drag racer? To be sure, it's not all big checks and trophy queens. There's a lot of hard work and heartbreaks in between. Let's hear the story from some of Plymouth's pros.
You get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you go out to the track tomorrow, and you run all day, and then you come back tomorrow afternoon, and you work, till late tomorrow night, or maybe all night, making sure that everything's ready to go back again Saturday. And it's not just a 9-to-5 job, that's for sure.
But we enjoy it, right?
That's right.
I think it was 2 years ago that I decided I was either going to do better or quit. Because the hours I put in, if I would pick another profession, I would have to make as much money, maybe more, for less hours.
You put all that you have into it, put all of your energy and all of your money and your time into it to make it, make your car run as good as what it can, to make your car look as good as what it can.
Sometimes I tend to psych myself out by worrying about the clutch and worrying about the motor, and that's what I constantly think about, just the whole machine.
All pros in a tough game called the sport of the 70s. A sport which traces its origin to the wastelands of Southern California. There it was nurtured carefully by tough sportsmen. This is where drag racing came from. In the 30s and into the 40s, cars raced against the clock in straightaway time trials on the dusty, windswept dry lakes and salt flats, baked by an unmerciful sun. That's where the drag action was. By 1946, Southern California Timing Association had some 25 clubs, and a major meet would draw 200 or more cars. The cars ran the gamut of creativity, with speed, the sole objective. In the middle 40s, this was the look. Flatheads, four-bangers, running with V8s and even V12s on inactive military strips. A lot of $300 mustering out checks put the hot rodders back on wheels. Then came men like Stu Hilburn, magicians with carburetors, camshafts, fuel, and the like, some real motor science. They tamed the V8s, added streamlined chassis, and proceeded to break the 150-mile-an-hour barrier. By the middle 50s, drag racing had its basic ground rules and definition. An acceleration contest over a quarter-mile distance from a standing start. A single car run or a competitive run between two cars. The rear engine dragster, oh, little did they realize then what they had. Ingenuity is the real heart of drag racing, but the sport is still trial and error. And that's the fun of it. In 1951, the first Chrysler Hemi engine came on the scene. It took a couple of years to harness the power of this giant of an engine, but most of the pros realized then it could be the foundation power plant for years to come. As more horsepower became available, the drag tire got more attention. By 1959, Jack Chrisman really going after the speed records, 181 miles an hour. The stock cars were given their own class, drag racing had moved to a new era. By 1963, the stock car had its place. The grandstands, a population explosion. And in the NHRA Nationals, it's a pair of super stock wedges for the championship. '64 Winter Nationals. Ever the innovator, Don Garlitz relied on penny power to propel his winged racer to a AA fuel win. 1966, again Pomona. A tough team comes in from North Carolina. Ronnie Sox driver, Buddy Martin team manager, Jake King, master engine builder. This the meet in which Shirley Shahan becomes the first woman ever to win a major drag racing championship as she defeats Joe Smith in another Henny Plymouth and takes the super stock title. 1967, Thunder Valley, Bristol, Tennessee. National Hot Rod Association Spring Nationals. Even more professionalism obvious. The best drag equipment ever, like this sleek Plymouth with Ronnie Sox drag. In the other lane, Ron Mancini. Another record crowd to watch. And it's Ronnie Sox winning the Super Stock Eliminator title. Back to Indy again in '68 for the NHRA Nationals. First time total prize monies for a meet had gone past $150,000. And again, it's a Plymouth. In the Super Stock Finals, Arlen Banky of Akron, Ohio, against tough Wally Booth in his Midwest Auto Special.
As Arlen Banky, Super Stock leads.
And at the top end, it's Akron Arnie for the win. After a long winter's work, the '69 national racing events begin in Pomona, California. Bigger crowds, bigger prize monies, and the most professional field of drag racers ever assembled. This describes the NHRA Winter Nationals, where longtime regional champion Don Grother burst into national prominence by defeating Jerry Harvey's Cobra Jet Mustang to pick up all the gold, and with it, the Super Stock Eliminator title. On to Phoenix, Beeline Dragway, the site of the American Hot Rod Association's Winter Nationals. It is here that Ronnie Sox is honored by AHRA President Jim Tice as the association's Driver of the Year. As if to prove that this award is in the right hands, Sox proceeds to win top stock eliminator honors in his fleet Hemi Roadrunner, performing by this Mustang with a strong pop-in charge. Arlen Banky completed the Plymouth sweep at Beeline as the '68 national champ. 4 speeds his Hemi Cuda past Ed Terry's Cobra Jet for an easy Super Stock Eliminator championship. Further proof of Plymouth's drag strength shown at the NHRA Indy Nationals. Here, the personable team of Tritac and Morgan take their war wagon, the venerable wedge-powered Plymouth wagon that has terrorized the East Coast for years, to a decisive stock Eliminator championship. The red, white, and blue Cuda of Sox and Martin backs up the Super Stock Eliminator crown they won at the '69 Spring Nationals by once again defeating the strongest Super Stocks in the nation to pick up a second major Eliminator crown for the year. A figure that would grow to 3 before too long, as the popular Burlington, North Carolina duo would go on to win the NHRA World Point Finals at Dallas later in the year. In Top Fuel, Don the Snake Prudhomme was a picture of consistency as he notched his second Indy Nationals Top Fuel Eliminator title in his Plymouth-powered digger. He outran Kelly Brown for the big win. He would not have made it this far without a strong assist from the weatherman. A brief rain shower gave him the time necessary to replace a broken engine between rounds. 1970 has been referred to as the Super Season, as NHRA expanded its schedule of national events to 7, and AHRA instituted its 10-race Grand American Championship. The crowds were bigger than ever. The purses were too, and a new class of cars, the Pro Stocks, emerged, bringing the fans to their feet whenever they ran. From Plymouth's point of view, 1970 was truly a super season, as notables like Saxon Martin, Don Grother, Arlen Banky, and Don Prudhomme carried the Rapid Transit System's colors to the winner's circle again and again and again. At Indianapolis, the Pro Stock Eliminator Final saw Arlen Banky racing Saxon Martin in an all-Hemi-Duster contest. Blue car got there first to claim their second straight Indy National crown and their second straight NHRA Pro Stock Eliminator Championship in NHRA competition for the year. The Snake, Don Prudhomme, one of the most intense competitors in drag racing today, picked up his third Indy Nationals Fuel Eliminator title by defeating Jim Nickel in the final run. Veteran observers claim this was the most spectacular drag race ever seen. Both drivers recorded sub-6.5-second runs. Prudhomme, 6.45, quick enough to nip Nickel at the finish line. Then, disaster. Nickel's clutch explodes, saws his car in half. The roll cage section with Jim inside tumbles into the grass. The nose section crosses Prudhomme's path. The moments after were a time for real soul searching. Was the glory worth the risks involved? Minutes later, hearing that his friend Jim Nickel was okay, these thoughts vanish, and attention turns to the winner's circle and the next race. Ontario, California, the NHRA Super National, the last event on the 1970 national racing schedule. A fitting end to a season that saw Saxon Martin with 4 major NHRA Pro Stock Eliminators, including the NHRA World Championships, and these along with 8 out of 10 AHRA Grand Americans and the AHRA World Championship. Plymouth also won the NHRA Manufacturers Championship. The Rapid Transit System had made its mark. The last race of the Super Nationals marks the close of national drag racing's biggest season ever. But the Plymouth pros who helped make drag racing the sport of the 70s do not rest on their laurels now, not by a long shot, because they all know how quickly the fans will forget if they quit winning. For pros like Saxon Martin, Don Grother, there's a full schedule of Plymouth supercar clinics to be conducted. Tips are given on everything from good driving practices to the importance and maintenance of clean air system. In short, this essential element in Plymouth's Rapid Transit System delivers the kind of knowledge it takes to make a guy a winner anywhere. Meanwhile, there's new race cars to be built for the upcoming season. And if that's not enough to keep everybody busy, there's a continuous program of test and evaluation for new parts and technology. While craftsmen like Jake King or Joe Smith are busy helping prepare new mounts for Saxon Martin and Don Grother, they too are determining the advantages of new manifold configurations, carburetors, cylinder heads, and the like. Engineers are hard at work on drawing boards, in dyno rooms, at racetracks across the country, trying to get that competitive edge which will keep Plymouth on top. That's Plymouth's system at work, not just developing the products needed to build winners, but also making these products available. Before 3 months, and to the racers perhaps it seemed like 3 weeks are up, it's the start of the 1971 racing season. The NHRA Winter Nationals at Pomona, California. Over $250,000 up for grabs, nearly 100,000 spectators on hand at the LA County Fairgrounds to witness this action-packed event. Friday and Saturday, busy days for everyone. A lot of work to be done by the crews on the fuel cars as a slippery track, combined with the new horsepower found during the winter months, produced lots of tire smoke and disappointing time slips. Super stockers were not without their problems either. Some of the competitors having their share of motor troubles, others having more than their fair share of handling problems. The Plymouth Pro Stockers proved to the big crowd that they had done their homework well during the winter months, as 4 of the quickest 6 low ET qualifiers were Plymouth's. Sox and Martin's 2 entries led the attack, qualifying 1 and 2, with Grother and Banky not even a tenth of a second behind. These 2 days are the only chance you get to make sure everything is just right, because Sunday, eliminations begin. 1 loss, you're out. The wrenches turned late into the night, everywhere. Finally, if you're lucky, it's time to call it a night. But usually not without some good-natured joking with your competition, right, Arlen? Sunday morning, the big day. The racetrack cloaked in fog. No chance for tune-up runs. The sun breaks through, the fog lifts, and the racing is ready to begin. Sox and Martin are not the only team running 2 cars, as Don Grother has his class-winning BMP Hemi Roadrunner in the chase for the modified Eliminator Gold, as well as a Hemi Cuda in the Pro Stock Eliminator class. The Snake is attempting to capture top fuel runners, as well as the Funny Car Eliminator Championship, having managed to qualify both of his new machines. The strain is just too much. Don Prudhomme, one of the most intense competitors in the sport, does not make it to the second round in either car. Nobody takes it any harder than he does. In Pro Stock, Grother's luck goes sour. After looking strong in qualifying, Don's clutch eye bolt breaks at the line, causing a red light, and puts him out of the Pro Stock show. Sox and Martin's number 1 car with Ronnie driving advances to the quarterfinals. 9-second victories over Dick Raymond's Maverick and Bob Lambeck. Here, he meets the Grump. And last year's upset is avenged as Sox moves past Jenkins into the semifinals. Akron Arlen's in the quarterfinals too, having disposed of Ed Miller and Jim Hader in short order. Here he meets Lee Smith's strong-running Crazy Cuda, and he comes out on top to move into the semifinals. Jimmy King's Rhode Island-based Plymouth-powered rail is weighted through a tough field to meet Kenny Safford's nitro-burning Hemi in the Top Fuel semifinals. But Safford is not to be denied as he lays down a strong 6-8 old blast, and he puts King on the trailer. In the other semifinal, it's Big Daddy Don Garlitz and his radical rear-engine rail ready, without a burnout, to do his battle with Big Jim Dunn in the Dunn and Reed Special. At the first glimpse of green on the new Pro Stock Christmas tree, Garlitz is gone, straight as an arrow, for the win which moves him into the final. The funny car action at Pomona, fast and furious. After a convincing first-round win, Larry Reyes takes Big John Masmanian's new Cuda to the line against Jake Johnson driving Gene Snow's 71 Charger. They lead together, but Reyes gets into trouble, and Johnson goes into the quarterfinals. Maz's other car, the fierce 220-mile-an-hour Cuda, driven by Rich Sarunian, is going to face tough Butch Maz in Roland Leon's new Hawaiian. Day, Rich Sarunian let too many horses loose at the start and wound up reaching for the sky. Then showed some spectacular driving to keep it all together. The start is a delicate balance. Sometimes you lose it. With his Pro Stocker out of it, Don Grother turned all of his attention to his modified production Roadrunner, which is being driven here by Butch Lee. A string of solid on-the-record runs have brought the car to the semifinals, where it'll face this patriotic AMP Camaro. runner hits the handicap start, holds on to win, and advance to the modified Eliminator Final. Now it's the Pro Stock semifinal. Canadian Supercar Clinic demon John Petrie spurring off against Monty Sachs. This is the race that'll advance one of the two pros to the finals. Gets there first and now must wait to see whom he will face in the finals. It'll be one of these two cars. Will it be Wally Booth, whom Banky beat nearly 3 years ago to win the Indy Nationals? Or will Sachs face Arlen in the Pro Stock Finals as he did in 3 straight NHRA national meets last year? It takes 9 seconds to find out. Wally Booth will go up against the seemingly invincible Sachs and Martin team. Well, this is it, the modified Eliminator Final. Don Gross's brand new Roadrunner going against national champion Carroll Caudle in his FMP Chevrolet. A lot at stake, and Don knows it. In 1969, he drove his Hemi Cuda to the Superstock Eliminator title here at the Winter Nationals. The modified car gets the big handicap. There he goes. He's going to have to come from way behind to catch him. Can he do it? No. He broke the existing national record trying to catch the Flying Caudle. Now here they come, the Pro Stock finalists. It'll be Sachs and Martin's Hemi Cuda against Wally Booth's rat-motored Camaro. A big one for both drivers. Sachs wants to keep his fantastic win record alive. He knows Wally Booth is eager to spoil it. There they go. Sachs out of the hole first. Pulling away. He does it. That makes 4 straight Pro Stock Eliminator titles for Sachs and Martin Plymouth at NHRA national events.
Broke my jinx there. It's the first time in a long time at this place, I tell you.
How's the new car working?
Oh, beautiful. I love it.
Banky had his share of problems in the semifinal run, but you handled Booth without any trouble.
Well, the car's running real well. It is a new car for us, and he was running real good. It was a real good race, but I seemed to hit the lights on him a little bit, and the way the car's running high gear, after I knew I left the line, I figured I had him beat then.
You're looking plenty good for the 71 season. You think you can duplicate 70s?
Well, it's going to be hard to duplicate 70, but it's the first time I ever won here, so I'm very pleased with it, really am.
Congratulations to you, Ronnie.
Thank you very much.
Leong repeat his thrilling funny car Eliminator win at last year's Winter Nationals. He can and does as Butch Moss legs the Pineapple Cow to low ET for funny cars of 6.93 seconds, and the crew shows their happiness. Unfortunately, the Top Fuel Eliminator crown was decided before the final race was run. What could have been an exciting race between two very different kinds of dragsters becomes a solo run for the legendary Don Garlits in his all-new rear-engine car. Kenny Safford's crew could not repair the engine damage which was suffered in his defeating of Jimmy King in the semifinals. But a pro all the way, Don Garlits receives congratulations and then thunders down the quarter mile in a smoky solo run for the Top Fuel gold. the 11th annual NHRA Winter Nationals. But it does not signal a rest for the pros, for there's another race to get ready for, and another one right after that. The All-Pro races the next weekend at Orange County International Raceway. There, Don Grother took the Pro Stock crown, defeating Dino Don Nicholson in the final. From Orange County on to Phoenix and the AHRA Grand American, as Arlen Banky drove his Hemi Duster to Pro Superstock Eliminator honors, while Don Grother took the GT1 Eliminator honors. 3 down and a bunch to go. It's a long season and a lot of miles to be covered, a lot of races to run, and a lot of satisfaction to be gained. That's the way it is when you're a pro.